What's up, guys? It's Matt here, back again, and we're doing another review here on the Ram 2500 Longhorn, pulling 20,000 pounds down the road, guys. We're headed out to the beach, and we hope that you can enjoy this trip with us. We'll break down a little bit of the setup right now, what we have pulling here in the back. You guys seen some of my previous videos. This is our Heartland Cyclone. It is a 39.5 feet long, I just say 40 feet, toy hauler, and she is loaded. Now it is about 18,000 dry, but once you get everything loaded down, water, gas, everything, you're gonna be sitting at almost 20,000 pounds. Groceries, supplies. But yeah, guys, we're gonna be hitting the road. See how the old Ram does with the Rev Max on there. Hope you guys enjoy the video. And if you haven't already, hit the like button. It helps the channel out, and subscribe. So we are off to the beach. We're gonna hang out down in Fort Myers for a few days. Just get out and enjoy this nice time of year before the hurricanes come in and rip everything up. But yeah, I haven't got to run this truck with the trailer on the back ever since we got the Rev Max in there. And if you've seen in some of my other videos, I did talk about how it does shift harder. Well, when I did pick it up from the shop, it was in the shop a couple weeks ago, and I picked it up. We got the front cap painted and had the back painted. This is always tricky. When you're living in a small country roads, the roads begin to get smaller and smaller, so you got to really be paying attention. I mean, 40 foot ain't too big, but it is massive whenever you're pulling it behind your truck. So yeah, the weather's not, I mean, down here in South Florida right now, the weather's, I mean, it's raining, but we haven't seen that much rain these last few days. But it does spit at times. I take that back. We did see some rain last night. So right now I got it in setting 2, which is considered tow. This gives about 60 horses. She gets down. Check it out. Now we don't have the gears in here yet. We're gonna go ahead and do the 410s, but right now, since we're not going through any hills or anything like that, we're just going down the road, we can just kind of relax and kind of take our time up there. But I will say that I might try to go ahead and change these coil springs out and go back to a leaf spring. If you guys are doing any type of heavy towing, definitely recommend. I mean, you have the airbags in here, but it's just not enough, especially when you're pulling a lot of weight. But I mean, if you're not pulling too much, then it's not gonna be too bad. But if you're gonna try to max it and try to get the most out of it that you can, it's definitely a good idea to go ahead and make sure your truck is capable of doing that long term. The other thing is you always got to watch. I mean, everywhere you go in this thing, I mean, you got, like I said, you got a big old boat behind you. Now, with this kind of weight, it's always good to go ahead and if you're going through the mountains or even just traveling, you can even just use the manual mode and shift through the gears through yourself. And that's always a nice option that you have in here, because definitely when you're pulling this kind of weight, you want to be able to shift those gears on your own if you can. Just kind of helps you control a little bit better. But I did have it in just stock mode. And when you got it in stock mode on the tuner, I mean, it'll pull it, but it's like a dog. And I hate going to a fight. I hate going somewhere that's just going to not get up out of its way when it needs to. But it helps it just go down the road a little bit better. I mean, when you're sitting, obviously, I'm not going to be dogging it going down the road, pulling this amount of weight, just getting on it everywhere. I mean, you're going to burn up clutches and everything like that. So you definitely want to take it easy. But on top end, when you have that extra horsepower, it does help pick it up a little bit and get it down the road a little bit easier. If you guys notice, I got my Schnauzer with me, and he goes everywhere. He loves to sit on the center console. I ordered a cover for him to sit on, and I ordered it through Amazon. They said it was gonna fit, didn't fit. But so far, the center console has been holding up pretty well. But just want to get it something so he doesn't slide off. He sits up there, and sometimes you take that corner a little hard, and he slides to the left or to the right or to the front. She maneuvers very well going through these kind of twisty, curvy roads. You just got to take it nice and easy so you're not putting anybody else in danger or But yeah, I got it in manual mode right now. Just to show you how good you can control that gear. Second, this third. Fourth. So we're just in fourth gear, just cruising. We're sitting at 156 on the trans temp, oil temp 201. Now, the nice thing with the manual mode is you can go ahead and just downshift when you want. It does have the Jake brake on here, but my exhaust is really loud, so go ahead and turn it on just so everybody can hear what it sounds like. Yeah, just keep, whenever you're pulling anything heavy, you always want to make sure you just keep an eye on all your temperatures. Especially when you're going through town, a small town, big town, where there's a bunch of red lights. There's no sense of flying through it. just take your time, cruise, no rush. Just make sure everybody's safe. And you don't have to worry about getting any accidents. You always want to make sure that, especially pulling something like this, you want to give somebody a pretty good distance away so you got some time to stop, because when you're trying to stop to almost 20,000 pounds, you want to make sure that you got plenty of space. Now, sometimes people are going to be on your ass, but you can't worry about that. You just got to make sure that you're worried about what's in front of you. Make sure you stay in between what we call the mustard and the mayonnaise. Right now, we don't see that yellow lines in the middle, but you want to keep them both in between the lines. Right now we're at 159. We're not really pushing it. We haven't been driving it too long. Got about an hour and a half ride, so we'll touch back just here in a few. Okay, so we've been cruising for about 35 minutes, and I just want everybody to see. Now, here where I live, there are some hills. We're on a higher piece of elevation where we live, but so far we're starting to plane back out, and we are sitting around 9 to 10 miles per gallon going 70 mile an hour. Now, we do have trans temps a little bit higher than what I've seen before, and I think maybe that's just because it's just so hot out right now. The roads, everything can kind of change what your truck does, but I mean, 172 ain't horrible. I was sitting at 172. We're up to 174 now, but I was sitting there at like 178 before I even put that bypass on there for the Rev Max. Our cool temps are at 199, oil temps at 210. We're just cruising there at 1600. Now, ideally, you want to be sitting at about 73, 74 mile an hour. Gonna get your RPMs right where it needs to be. Most people say between like 1800, 17, 1800 on the RPMs is where you want it to be. It just all depends on what you're pulling, I think. One of the things I will say is there's not too many people on this road. You're gonna be able to draft as easily if you were on like a major interstate or going down, just are in the bigger cities where you're around a lot more traffic. So that's going to be one of the major factors of not being able to run as cool as either. But we're still sitting at 174 on the trans temp, oil temp 210, coolant temp. It's been going up to 203 to 199, just doing what's supposed to do. Now, just to show you guys, I did speed it up a little bit. Now, we're only on a 2-lane road, so you got to really be paying attention to these wackos driving on their phones and stuff. So, but just want to show you guys real quick. We're sitting at averaging between 8 miles per gallon. Speeds at 73. Trans temp sitting at 176. It hasn't really come up much higher, and that's where I like it. Our oil temps are a little higher at 213 and coolant temps at 206. And we're not doing any drafting, so we're hitting the forces head on. That's 73 mile an hour, and we're just still cruising pretty well. You can see trans pressure is sitting at around 223, 224. Our speed is accurate at 23.5. Rail pressure sitting around 21,000, and we're in gear 6. Turbos aren't really spooled too much. Now, once you start going this fast and you're on those country roads and you got all that weight behind you, I don't care what kind of air ride you have, you're going to feel the sway on it, especially going over something like this on these bridges.
Turn right.
Now you can see with these, like I said, smaller towns, you gotta be really paying attention. It's just like driving a big rig. Got the navigation set up on the radio. Don't hardly use that much, but it is nice to have. That way it's not interfering with your phone. And these, if the address is there, then it's most likely there, but we're about 47 miles away of our destination. We're just going through some of these smaller towns to get to where we got to go in Fort Myers.
Drive 24 miles.
Now I know where I'm going. I just like to see the distance and how far we are from there, and just want to see where the map's going to take you. Now you have to have that Sirius subscription that gives you the traffic and all that on your radio. As you can see, we have the navigation, and I hardly ever use it, but it's definitely good to have for backup, just in case your phone doesn't have service, or you might have forgot your phone, or your phone doesn't work or broke. But yeah, we're just cruising right now, and temperatures have come down. 167, oil temps 195, and coolant temps 199. But yeah, guys, I do appreciate you guys watching the video. We're going to get set up here in a few. So sit tight. Enjoy the ride. So we are now in Lehigh, right outside of Fort Myers. And we're just cruising through. We're almost to I-75. Starting to see traffic picking up through here. And you definitely want to be taking your time, especially a lot more people, a lot more idiots on the road. I do apologize, but there are some idiots on the road. Men and women, boys and girls. So many people now these days just on their phones and not paying attention. And doing other things as well. So we are now getting on to I-75 going southbound. And traffic does get a little wild here. Temperatures right now are at 94 degrees.
Keep right.
Navigation's telling me go right, then left.
In 1,000 feet, turn left onto I-75.
Sometimes you get lucky and you get that green light, put you all the way in. Not today.
Turn left onto I-75.
Now, some have asked us what we're doing driving this big old rig. Well, we've had this rig since 2018, and at that time we had 6 kids in the house. So bringing your house to accommodate for 8 people is definitely a necessity, but it's nice to have something big enough for everybody. So now we should be able to do a little bit of drafting. So we got to take this ride for about 8 miles. And right now, trans temp sitting at 168. Oil temp sitting at 212. And we're running at 9 to 10 miles per gallon. The weather up ahead looks a little dark blue compared to what it is on the right side. So we might hit a little rain before we cut off to the right towards the west side of the beach. Now, if you really want to do some drafting, you want to get behind this big rig, and sometimes you can get, I don't know, sometimes it's best to just be in that middle lane so you don't have to worry about people coming in and coming out. Well, we're on a 6-lane highway right now. Traffic is going pretty well. Temps have came up to 170. But you can definitely feel a lot less stress on the engine and the transmission because we're less resistance on the road. It'd be nice if we can get this thing set up before the rain hits. That'd be really nice if we can get that set up. Definitely look like we're coming into some rain here. Usually when it rains in Florida during the summer, you're not going to notice a rain too long. Sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes. As you can see, those clouds are looking pretty dark out towards the south end. We got 4 miles to go before we cut west. We're running at 72 miles an hour, which is fairly good. So we're about to exit, and I mean, temperatures outside are 94 degrees. Trans temp sitting at 176. I haven't seen it get up no higher than that. 213 on the oil temp, 206 on the coolant. And so far so good. We're going to be getting off here in just about another mile. This is where the rubber meets the road, baby. Start getting into that big city, pulling a big rig. Take your time, get in the middle lane, pay attention to the roads, pay attention to the cars. Watch your mirrors. You can see people are already leaving. I mean, this is on a Sunday, and traffic's like this. I don't know where they're going, but holy moly, Batman. Glad we're not sitting there. You got stupid idiots like that cause an accident because they're in a rush. Just take your time. We're going to be getting over here in just a few. So I'm going to make my way to the left lane in just a minute. Once I hit about a mile, I like to get over. We're just cruising right now about 55. Traffic's steadily moving over on this side. We're gonna wait just a little bit longer to get up out of this red light, and then we'll make our way to the left lane in just a minute. We're still about 11 miles to our destination. We are in Fort Myers, and we are almost to the beach, guys. You're gonna see all these marinas. You can see this guy pulling his boat coming up behind me. Lots of boats. This area got hit by a hurricane 2 years ago and devastated everybody in this area. People are just still working back to get back open. Some buildings are still there. Some buildings not there no more. A lot of people were devastated by the hurricane that hit back in 2022. We are 1 mile away from our destination. We got to get checked in and look forward to unhooking from this big rig, getting parked. The rain is coming, and we've got to get hurried up and get set up. Now, a lot of these campgrounds, most of the people in this area, they pulled out right before the storm hit. There's a Pinter's right here on the right hand side. It got messed up a little bit, but the flooding didn't reach this area all the way back here. It did hit. I think they got like 2-3 foot. All these fishing boats right here got pushed back.
You are approaching your destination.
This is a really tricky spot to pull in and out, especially when you got that light right there. They did add that light. It hasn't always been there. Now we have made it to our destination. And the hardest part is going to be to get this thing in. No. Finally settled in, and we had to let the camper cool down for a little bit, go get a bite to eat. We dodged the rain, sitting right here on the water in the inlet. We got it all set up. Let's check it out. Now we don't have the awnings out right this second because see that sky over there? The wind blows. We've got 3 awnings on this camper. 1, 2, and 3. We'll get that set up probably tomorrow if the weather's looking nice for us. But yeah, this is a toy hauler. We've had this toy hauler for about 6 years now. And we've taken it all the way out to California. It's done really well. Packed in like sardines, boys. They don't make it easy. If you want a RV like this, you gotta know how to drive it. Everybody's bringing in their boats. Been on the water all day. Truck pulled great, and we are going to enjoy our trip. We'll get some more video hopefully here pretty soon coming up on the gears on the truck. But we do appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.